Others call it convention. I think it is coming from the days of the MMD. MMD was calling it convention, and I think most people use that term. In our case, we refer to it as General Assembly. And of course, I want to sincerely thank President Hakainde Hichilema for his expression of confidence and trust in me as an individual, by way of him reappointing me to the same position that I held before the General Assembly. Like President Hakainde Hichilema said, we have no honeymoon. It's time to get back to serious work. And if you allow me, let me also congratulate President Hakainde Hichilema for having been elected and opposed, and also Madam Vice President Honorable Mucheleka Lumango, who has been appointed as the Vice President rather of our party UPND. It is also an expression of trust and confidence in her in the new role that she's now going to take up. And this is a person who is coming with a lot of experience, skills, and also importantly, it's a very good mix that our mothers, women, are on the table of decision making, and the appointment of Honorable Mucheleka Lumango has not just excited the women movement, but generally the people of Zambia and all those people of goodwill. And of course, I want also to congratulate my colleagues in the party that have been appointed to various important portfolios within our party.
Still on the general conference that we held, we saw others. The members couldn't make it to the National Management Committee, crying foul that the process wasn't, free and fair, because everything was more like doctored by, I know that the man is not here to defend himself, by Garin Kombo, chairperson in charge of elections, that it was just doctored. You are trying to show the Zambian people that you're a democratic party when actually whatever was happening was doctored.
There was nothing that was doctored at all. And speaking confidently for the chairman of elections, who, by the way, has also retained his position as our party chairman in charge of elections. The elections were very transparent, and for somebody who may not understand, our attempt to explain how it was done, very, very transparent. We had well over 210 members of our party whose nominations were valid. And out of those 270, in line with our party constitution, only 70 people were expected to be elected. In the General Assembly that we held, under very difficult conditions, other than the COVID challenge that the country is faced with, or rather it's a challenge for the entire globe. Every country is affected. Zambia is not an exception. And for us in the UPND, we had to consult extensively with the relevant authorities, including the Ministry of Health, to an extent of ensuring that we adhered to the COVID protocols as given by the Ministry of Health. So what we did, we held a virtual convention. We were able to bring well over 3,000 delegates across the 10 provinces. So in other words, an average of 300 people gathered in all our 10 provincial centers. Those delegates were drawn from the 156 constituencies. 7 delegates came from each constituency. 7 delegates from each constituency. Multiply 7 by 156 to give you an answer. We had to bring 10 delegates from each of the about 110 districts.
Okay.
So that's a big number. So in doing that, we had to ensure that at the end of the process, 70 people had to be elected. Each aspirant had to be nominated by a particular province. And any valid nomination also needed to be supported by 2 other provinces. For example, I applied to come from the Northern Province. So the Provincial Management Committee of Northern Province had to discuss my application, and they found it necessary that they could support my candidature. I also had, when Northern Province agreed to support me, I also had to lobby 2 other provinces. I was supported by Lusaka Province. They seconded in my nomination. And also Central Province. In Lusaka Province, Honorable Obvious Mariteta had to second my application. And Chairman Chief of the Central Province. That is how my nomination was valid.
So
at the end of the day,
what do you make of the complaint?
I'm answering. At the end of the day, every delegate had 70 votes to vote for 70 people out of the 210 valid nominations. And because we wanted also to ensure that we reflect the true face of Zambia, that is why we were in line with our constitution. People had to be nominated from the provinces and supported by 2 other provinces, so that at the end of the day, you don't have a situation where one province dominates the rest of the provinces. And we achieved our objective. If you looked at the outcome of the elections, you'll be able to see clearly, for example, that on average, each province is bringing, out of that 70 directly elected, an average of 7. What else can you ask for? We have been able to shame those who think that UPND is a regional party. Or if you like, they have been saying UPND is a Tonga party. What are they saying now?
That you doctored the
we didn't doctor. The fact that we reflected, in line with our constitution, the face of Zambia meant that we are responding to the changes in the environment to an extent where, importantly, out of the process that we had, the elections, we reflected the face of Zambia. And when you look at the leaders that have been were elected, you will see that, like you said yourself, our vice president had the highest number of votes, seconded by myself. But that is not really the point. We were just a team of 70 people elected, and the results clearly show in terms of who had how many votes. So what then do you say about those who like saying it's a regional party? They have been, they are ashamed. But we're not doing it for anyone. We are doing it in the best interest of the Zambian people, because they want a situation where at the end of the day, our president is able to reunite and rebuild Zambia.
Honorable.
And that was the theme of our just ended the assembly.
Okay.
And we achieved that. And if you like, if you allow me, we have the president, President Hakainde Hichilema. The vice president is Madam Nalumango. I'm the Deputy Secretary General in charge of politics. My counterpart, Honorable Imenda, from Western Province, is Deputy Secretary General in charge of administration. Our national chairman is Honorable Stephen Katuka, the immediate past Secretary General. We have Madam Kabwiko, Namakao Kabwiko, as Deputy National Chairperson responsible for gender. We have Collins Mauma, coming from the Central Province, Vice Chairman. We have another Vice Chairman, Andrew Banda, the son to our former president, coming from the Eastern Province. In other words, you can be able to see that people are coming from all corners of this country. So we expect
the elections are not doctored.
Not at all.
And,
how?
Okay.
Not at all. The people who are saying that merely want to pick something and perhaps use it against the UPND, it can't work. We expect people to commend the UPND for the effort that we put in by ensuring that we put these things, some of these aspirations in the Constitution, to an extent of ensuring that at the end of the exercise, we also achieved gender balance. 30%. We are just shy by 0.5%. Our threshold was 30% either gender. And you and I will agree that obviously it's the women folk who are underrepresented. In this particular case, the women that came through direct election were 29.5%. However, in line with our constitution, the president was able to appoint several other women to come to the management committee, such that we are over 35% gender representation. And in the NMC, we have different people, different competencies, skills, experience, gender balance, the age mix, as well as ethnic extraction. We have been able to meet the aspirations of the people of Zambia.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for that. Also, during a general conference, there are rumors that your constitution was amended. And now, even you, when you are standing, people expected you to apply and stand as Secretary General or Deputy Secretary General, but the powers have been vested in the president of your party. You are all elected as National Management Committee members. Then it's up to your president to start, appointing you as Deputy Secretary General, chairperson in charge of agriculture. And people are saying, you are building this individual, Hakainde Hichilema, to be a dictator even when he takes over power. Because if you mess up, he'll be able to drop you and bring another one to be Deputy Secretary General.
Let me say this. I don't know what you mean when you say there are rumors. What rumors? We amended our constitution. It is there in black and white for anyone to see.
So you amended
and in any case,
power to the president.
No. In any case, the constitution amendment, the draft, was done way before the General Assembly. obviously it had to be ratified. And according to our constitution, we are elected in a pool of 70. And if you are serious about leadership, mind you, we are preparing to take over leadership. And the best thing that we can do from where we stand as UPND is to ensure that once that competitive election of 70 has been achieved, which we certainly achieved, and we expect people of Zambia to commend us for the efforts that we made. After that, no, that's not what we did. After that, what do? You are then clearly aligning people based on their competences and skills. You know, if you want to destroy a good product, give it to some kind of pante. We did it so methodically by ensuring that at the end of it all, people are assigned to portfolios where they have competencies. For example, you are talking about myself as Mucheleka.
Yes.
If you ask me to contest a position of, say, finance chairman, I don't know much about finance. I would have perhaps contested with due respect, Honorable Dr. Stombeko Musokotwane. But what do I really bring to the finance portfolio? Zero.
Don't you think if the
zero,
and you know what, and you know, if you like, gotten the mandate from the people, from an individual,
if you like, from where we stand as UPND, we are taking the issue of leadership so seriously, such that if you like, you can even term us as a shadow cabinet. So that is why it is important that people are aligned to their portfolios where they have competencies, other than having chipantepant. That is another way of destroying a good product, to allow for unnecessary infighting, people competing for this or that particular position, people contesting or wanting to be chairman for international relations, when you cannot even know how to face the diplomats, especially under the current situation where democratic space is shrinking. You have a party in government that is in a hurry to pass legislation that makes it almost clear that Zambia is drifting into a pariah state. You have seen what has been happening in the recent past, where the PF are so determined to pass the Cybersecurity Act. You know, the issues of the proposed amendment to the Electoral Process Act, where they are saying you people in the media cannot do a PVT unless and only by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. These are not good signs, and therefore, when you are coming to UPND, you want to assign a chairman for international relations to that particular portfolio, someone who can be able to sit and explain issues of importance to the diplomats. That is what you want in the UPND. There's no room for chipantepante. And that is why it's so important for us at this stage to ensure that as we prepare to take over government, we assign people according to their portfolios. It's similar to, for example, when you're forming a cabinet. Do people apply to be a cabinet minister for a particular portfolio? It is it's a prerogative of the president. And because from where we stand as UPND, we are taking the issues of leadership so seriously. That is why we felt at this stage that we needed to be very methodical in terms of aligning people on the basis of their competences and experiences.
Honorable, Zambians have complained, and even political parties have even campaigned to say when we form government, we want to reduce the powers of the president. Already in the UPND, you have a president who has been given power to appoint someone.
Let me say this, Kelvin. We were elected.
Yes.
The 7th of us.
As National Management Committee
Committee members.
Yes.
And the president has no authority under the Constitution to remove any member from the National Management Committee because we were elected. However, in terms of, we are not so rigid. We have also given the authority to the president of our party as and
authority
when it might be
which is also
no. Yeah, to assign people to portfolios.
Okay.
And as we go on, you have to wait and see whether or not. I don't think President Hakainde Hichilema is a person who can venture into Chipantipanti kind of leadership, where today he appoints me as a Deputy Secretary General. Within 2 months or 2 months down the line, he removes me and he reassigns me. I don't think so. He has a proven track record of methodical leadership. And mind you, here is a person who's coming from the corporate world, and he is coming with the knowledge of corporate governance. Do you understand? And he's not a person who you can think that he can venture into Chipantepante kind of leadership. No, far from. And I want to assure you, I want to assure the people of Zambia that so far what we have done has received very good feedback from the people of Zambia, who are also looking at how people have been assigned to portfolios where they can function competently. That is what we are looking. That is what we are looking for.
Moving on, Honorable, you are in the alliance with other political parties. It was called the Opposition Alliance, but now it is called the UPND Alliance. The change of the name itself has brought a lot of uncertainty in Zambia and other Zambians and other political parties. And also, you have been labeled, the UPND has been labeled as a party that is sponsoring confusion in your alliance partners. For example, today we are talking about the NDC. We've got two factions. One is being led by Chimba Kambwire, the other one is being led by Council Joseph Sakafumba. Also, the NAREP, the UPND Alliance comprises of the NAREP, two factions again. One NAREP is being led by Steve Nyerenda, the other one by Maboshe, who also attended the meeting when Hakainde Hichilema was being unveiled as presidential candidate for the UPND Alliance. Why are you sponsoring confusion in political parties?
We are not sponsoring any confusion in any political party. And I want to assure you that from where we stand as UPND, we are in an alliance with political parties, including NDC and NAREP. We are not in any alliance with individuals. The people that you have mentioned, President Joseph Akafumba is the acting president of the NDC, and I also know that
who has been suspended by the leader of the NDC.
No. And I also know that Charles Maboshe is also president of the NAREP. So when you're talking about UPND Alliance, you know where we are coming from. Our friends in the partner political parties have been journeying with us from the time that it became necessary to come together as a result of the challenges that the country faced at the time. Remember, there was an issue of proposing amendments to the Constitution. Remember, there was those issues of the challenges we faced arising from the 2016 elections. You know, the issue of President Hakainde Hichilema being arrested and charged with treason, for an offense he never committed, and you saw the international community coming on and wanting political parties to dialogue. So we found it necessary at that time that political parties with common interests needed to come together through an opposition alliance. This is what saw these political parties coming together. Over time, there was a realization that we needed to move to another stage, and we began to look at how we needed to prepare for the 2021 elections. The people of Zambia were asking opposition political parties to come together, and we responded through the opposition alliance, and that is where we have been coming from. And talking about the UPND alliance, the chairman of the alliance, President Charles Minupi of the ADD, has been on record to explain where that is coming from. It is a mere response to the wishes of the people of Zambia that we must not go to the elections as fragmented. And over time, there was an agreement that President of the UPND needed to be the flag bearer through what was called the UPND alliance.
And he was given power to, choose his running mate.
That is in the Republican Constitution, where the presidential candidate has the prerogative of naming his running mate. That running mate can come either from within or from the opposition alliance. And I don't think we have reached that stage yet. Yes, some people decided to distance themselves from that position. Remember, my own brother, Dr. Chimbakambwili, himself announced that the opposition alliance was 99.9% done. It was just a question of time. Are you sure the issue of the name, from what you are saying, that UPND bulldozed over the name? Mind you, the elections are just around the corner. And you know the country we live in. My brother was talking about registering a different outfit or political party, and he called it North, East, West, South Alliance. In itself, it's a mouthful. You are confusing the people of Zambia. UPND was chosen as a brand because it's already there. And if you are talking about registering a new political party in Zambia, you know very well that the person responsible for the registration of political parties in this country is one Stephen Kampyongo. Are you sure between now and the time that we are going to go to the elections, Kampyongo will register a political party where he knows that UPND, NDC, NAREP are members? Is the same one, by the way, who went to the extent of the registering NDC itself, headed by Dr. Chimbakambwili. I believe the matter could still be in court. He's the same person who went as far as the registering the party headed by my brother, Honorable Harikalava. How then do you honestly expect Kampyongo to register a new political party where UPND is a member? You are asking for something that is next to impossible. He won't do it. And what do you do when you are running out of time? You'll be able to go along with something that is already available, and it's a brand known to everybody, to every Zambian. And I think that is why the opposition political party decided to go. And there's nothing strange. We have seen it in this country. In 2016, didn't we see MMD and the PF going into an alliance?
Yes.
We saw that. Did you hear of MMD going to PF and say, well, because we have come into an alliance, can you change the name? That didn't happen. And even this time around, if what the spokesperson for NDC said is anything to go by, my sister Savoy Imboyle.
So you're recognizing as the spokesperson?
No, listen, it's not a question of whether I'm recognizing her or not. That's not the point. But the point is, she herself said they would rather go to PF.
Yes.
The Zambians are waiting for, she decide to go that route with CK, where they go to PF and they demand that PF must now be PF NDC, whatever. People are waiting. If they are going, they may go as individuals. But for us, we are very grateful in the UPND and the opposition alliance that we have responded to to the wishes of the majority of the Zambian people who are craving for change. Zambians are craving for positive change, so that you have the UPND opposition alliance led by President Hakainde Hichilema to take up leadership in August after the elections in order to respond, to create a response to the economic malaise and corruption that has become the hallmark of the PF.
Honorable, also the other fears that others are bringing out, like the NDC, is that you can't allow each, because we were told that the alliance has resolved that they are going to field one candidate at parliamentary, be at parliamentary level or at mayoral or council chairperson level, and others are afraid to say our party is going to be swallowed because they are going to stand on UPND ticket. How do you clarify that?
Let me say this in response to that important question you have asked. If we agree that President Hakainde Hichilema will be the flag bearer under the UPND alliance, supposing he was to pick a running mate from the NDC, how was he going to run? He was going to run as a running mate to our President Hakainde Hichilema on the UPND alliance. You are the running mate. And then what confusion would that be when you are now also saying in the constituencies people must run on separate political parties? You are creating more confusion. If we agree that 99.9% was done, then the issue of a name or who runs on which ticket may be immaterial. We need to move as one. We need to be serious with what we are doing. And I think that is what the opposition alliance has been able to demonstrate. President of the ADD, Honorable Charles Milupi, has been explaining these issues very well, and the Zambians have understood. We have no time to further procrastinate into, procrastinate over non-issues. We are serious. We mean business. We have no time to waste. If anyone thinks that they can frustrate the UPND opposition alliance, they'll fall by the wayside. And in any case, you have been able to hear the response of various leaders of the NDC, including the chairman of the NDC on the Copper Belt, George Stula, popularly known as King George, from Chingola. He explained very well. And you have seen what President Akafumba has explained. We are moving on. The people of Zambia cannot at this stage afford to have leaders who are not serious to the cause of the people of Zambia. People of Zambia are looking for leaders who are going to save them from the economic malaise, corruption, bad governance that has come as a result of the leadership of the PF. And when you have a situation like that, it is important that Zambians come together, trust each other, and decide to move as one. Because at the end of the day, what do we want to achieve? It is not just a question of effecting change. For the purpose of removing PF, then it will be business as usual, where you have people abalenda na matropico na maovalo ya blue lelo balenda na mfuko ya ndalama shele mereka kwati mabula na kwati fiani. God forbid. That's not what we want. We want a leadership that is so serious about curbing corruption. Corruption is killing our people.
We'll be talking about the issue of corruption and the issue of monies that you've mentioned, but still on the issues of the UPND. Let's talk about the provision voter register that we have at the moment. We have seen numbers reducing in your so-called strongholds in Northwestern, Western, Central. The number of registered voters compared to the previous voter register have reduced, and others are saying, okay, probably these people in these provinces have seen that the UPND has failed them, so they didn't see the need for them to register numbers.
You know what? It's such a shame. I'm so ashamed as an individual, as Mucheleka, especially that some of the people that I have been involved in that scheme are people that I worked with in my other life when I was in the civil society. When you go to ECZ, there are individuals there. They know themselves who have become part of such a detrimental scheme of diffranchising our people in certain areas. It's unfortunate. It's very sad. I'm so ashamed. Honestly, even if they did that, it will not work. The people in Northern Province, where, by the way, the number has increased by well over 150,000 in Northern Province.
Yes.
In Western Province, the number is reduced. Southern Province, the number is reduced. The people you see in Northern Province, especially the young people, are craving for change. They can't wait. Takwa bafuna ngso mu PF ulisha bali abantu ku Northern Province abale chula. Olo benda nenda lamasha mu masaka bale pela 100 kwacha. In Bemba we say umutaba weshulu bakombola lera pena. Pokeni shondalama lelo kuchinja. In Bemba we say umutaba weshulu bakombola lera pena. At the same time we say mulembo wachipupo pula muri tumfwe. Pokeni bale leta. They never worked for that money. You go to Kasama, you go to Muchinga. As I speak to you, I have been driving on that road, Great North Road, for the past 6 months from the time they arrested me. I've been making journeys to Kasama on a very bad road. That is one of the major economic roads, the Great North Road. Taking our exports, bringing in our imports. That is the road that has been neglected. If you turn Pampika from Mpika or from Serenje, wafika Pampika ya Kasama, kwa tule ya kwa shetani. A very terrible road, very bad. And I want to say, so no, listen, listen. At the end of the day, nangubalembe shefidia, balawe ni balembe she, ewaka bafunyapo.
What gives you the confidence?
We know what is going on.
Because those are their strongholds.
No, what strongholds? Bashala Muchakale. What strongholds? Bashala Muchakale. You saw what happened in the past, in the recent past, when we had by-elections in Lukasha. What did you see? They had to arrest some of us for an offense we never committed. I was arrested together with my colleagues. Elias Mubanga, Samo Ongwira, Mwarachi Nyimba, Kelvin Walia, arrested for aggravated robbery. The intention was to put us away during that particular by-election because people warmed up to UPND. They wanted to create fear. They wanted to stop people from going to vote. Now, come August, people are ready. And the good part of it all is that the parliament is dissolving. So that abuse of the police by Kampyongo will not be there. Will not be there. We expect the police, ECZ, to create an enabling environment for all the political players. Everyone in this country, in their so-called strongholds, in Eastern Province, where the numbers have also increased. You saw what happened in Vubwi, when there was a by-election for the council chairperson. And that is the picture everywhere. You go to the Copper Belt, abantu balafu kuchinja, abantu bachula. You know what is happening. You watch Kelvin. Who can vote for PF? Who should chula ni nani? Nuga PF barabenda na masaka ya ndalama. Kwa tifiani or mamabula. How much are people buying a bag of mini meal? How much is a bottle of cooking oil? Ukia ku market. The public sector workers, including the police, including the men and women in uniform, are craving for change. What are they doing? Out of fear, they are passing all these laws, cybersecurity bill, all these things. Who is speaking to who? Monitoring our phones. They won't even have time. Kampiongo will be in Shwangandu there, unless he comes and sits in Lusaka, listening to the conversation that Mucheleka will be having with
so you are not worried?
Worried about what?
About the numbers?
We have seen this before. All the maneuvers that they are putting in place will not work.
Thank you so much. Let's move on.
You understand? So all these things they are doing, you see what is happening today. They sent police officers to shoot people, to kill people. What has happened today? The police officer, someone is appearing in court alone. And we are very grateful for the Human Rights Commission
for the report
that they released, where Nelson Piri has to be charged for murder. And they are also mentioning that the police were responding to what Kampiongo and Lusambo had said previously. And certainly, time for Kampiongo and Lusambo to account will come. No matter how long it will take. Because the fact that they have been mentioned in that report in itself is sufficient evidence that they are linked to what happened on that 34. They'll never escape. They'll be held to account, no matter how long it takes.
Bwana SG, let's move on. I'm glad that you've touched the issue of people displaying money or moving with the money. You are on record to have, condemned the people that are moving with money, and you called on President Edgar Lungu to state the position. But we did see on Friday the vice president of this Republic of Zambia saying the people that are seen with money, Okadas that are displaying money and claiming that they're PF, they're not PF. Probably this is one scheme of propaganda from the opposition. Why are you thinking so low to start displaying this cash and just to discredit the name of the ruling party, Patriotic Front, when it is you giving cash and regalia to your members to parade themselves as members of the PF when they are your members? What do you want to achieve at the end of the day?
The whole matter is laughable, especially that it's coming from our owner, the vice president. But her statement must be taken seriously. For me, she comes out as a person who has completely lost touch with what is happening in the environment. She accuses the opposition. Let me ask one of the vice president. We have seen one Boman Lusambo displaying so much money in Chifubu, stacks of huge money. Giving. Is Lusambo opposition? Is he UPND? Or any other opposition political party? We have seen Amailanga giving out money. Is she opposition? Come on, let's get serious. These are serious matters Zambians are raising, and we expect our owner, the vice president, to honestly come out and provide the moral side of PF, if at all there is any. The sober side, the sober side of PF, if there's any, in the response that she gives, especially on the floor of the House, her statement was certainly very, for a woman of her stature, misplaced. She should have done better. She needs to help President Lungu. She's the one who people expect to provide the sober side of PF if at all there's any. She hasn't. Instead, she has also joined the mocking of the people of Zambia, insulting the intelligence of the people of Zambia. We are able to see those PF cadres known ministers competing with each other in terms of who has more money. Recently, we saw a minister at once buying 3 vehicles and giving them to the wives of 3 different chiefs,
yes, chiefs
in the northern province. Since when did that minister become opposition? And do you know what he responded? He said, "Oh, Finch Mulela and it is only 250,000 kwacha for the 3 vehicles. It is only 250,000 kwacha for the 3 vehicles." Does he know what he's talking about? How much money is a teacher in Lunta constituents, for example, getting by a teacher ngawamona payslip yabo? It is full of Nkongole, the police officers, public sector workers, ngabafola. Instead of being happy that nabafola, kulwala BP, and then somebody says it's only 240,000. We heard, go to Chipata. There's a PF cadre who intends to contest elections in Chipangali constituency, where Honorable Vincent Mwale is. He's saying he's making a road of over 100 kilometers using his own money, making a road from Chipata into Kaseneng, Chipangali or wherever, using his own money. A cadre who has never known to be involved in any kind of business. Are you not surprised today that $17 million from the Ministry of Health is given out to a fictitious or fake company aligned to the PF, given to someone who jogs with the president? They bring in expired drugs. Our people are dying. Then you have people displaying so much money. Where is that money coming from?
So these
and
are not
those
your
people,
members,
and those people are saying that that money is being given to them by the president, the Republican president. And the president has not distanced himself from those who have been
claiming. Are you saying
claiming.
these are not your members?
Of course they are not. And that's why I'm saying Madam Inonga Wina must not begin to annoy people. She must stop insulting our intelligence. Please, for once. You need to respect the people of Zambia. We are not fools. Abantu balechula. Emoba Inonga Wina mule muna kwati kwangala. Bantu bavutika. Bantu bamulungu bavutika. Today, you go in any part of Zambia. People can't afford to buy cooking oil. They can't afford to buy salt. They can't buy essential commodities. You have seen the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, the basic needs basket. It is saying for an average family of 6, that family requires 8,300. Now tell me, what is the average salary of a teacher? What is the average salary of a nurse? You have people displaying huge tracts of money when we have well over 50,000 trained teachers who cannot be employed because the government is claiming there's no money. We have well over 50,000 nurses not employed because the government is claiming there's no money. The only money that is there on display is money coming from the PF. And that money is not backed by any non-economic activity. Does it surprise you why suddenly we are experiencing hyperinflation in the economy? In 2013, the dollar was costing $1, 5.3 kwacha. Within such a short period of time that President Lungu has been at the helm of power, the dollar is now costing 22 kwacha. Do you know what that means?
Oh, well, we've been told by the Vice President that it's because
But
of
that's
COVID.
That's why I'm saying, Mrs. Inonga Wina.
COVID, and that is why our currency is
listen. Let's take this matter seriously.
It is on record. The Vice President told us.
And this is where, for me, I'm so worried that you have people who cannot respond to the challenges. They're always looking for someone else to blame.
Okay, let's talk
and
about
they can never take responsibility on anything.
Let's talk about the economy. You've touched the economy, that people are even failing to buy, cooking oil. The president recently was in Northern Province and he met Mwine Lubemba. And in their conversation, Mwine Lubemba mentioned the issue of prices, to say each and every day prices are going high. And the president said, actually, it is the work of sabotage.
By who?
Suspecting that there is sabotage.
By who?
And then from there, a consortium of civil society organizations came out and said there are opposition political parties that are working with business entities to hike prices so that people can vote in a different way.
Do you remember
elections?
Kelvin, do you remember that not too long ago, the president himself is on record as having said that he was taking charge of the economy himself as the president. He was taking matters of the economy in his own hands. And he also went as far as launching what he called the Economic Recovery Program.
Yes.
Where are we today? They are, as usual, typical of them, they are looking for someone else to blame. If there's someone who is sabotaging the economy, it is President Lungu himself and his friends in the PF. He has not explained where those people are getting the money which they are displaying. Do you know what that means for the economy? Does he not understand what that means? What it means is that if you have money that you have never worked for, in huge millions or whatever amount, you have never felt the pain of having worked for that money. You are going to be spending it carelessly. And part of that money will find itself on the financial market. Let me simply put it this way, for the sake of our viewers perhaps to understand. If you have so much money, what do? There's what we call hedging. You have so much kwacha, you want to keep it in dollars, so that later on, the money that you have can still work for you. You go to the bureau to buy dollars because they are offloading so much money, Zambian kwacha, on the dollars. I mean, on the market, the price of the dollar will certainly go up, especially that you do not have serious economic activities in the economy. Because if you did, then you would be exporting certain commodities to bring in more foreign
What is the plan
exchange.
of the UPND when it comes to the economy? Because
Yeah,
what Zambians have been told
yes,
is just
the beginning point.
Value fix
Yeah,
it.
the
How
beginning
is it going to
point.
fix it?
Number one priority for us in the UPND, under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, is to stop corruption. We must stop corruption. That money that is being wasted, that money that is being stolen, will be used prudently. So when you save that money, you redirect it to the relevant sectors of the economy and the social sector. Also, what we are going to do as UPND, immediately we take over power, courtesy of the people of Zambia, is to change the procurement processes. PF has been using public procurement of mega projects to steal money, to launder money. They are overpricing contracts. So we are going to ensure that, number one, we curb corruption. Number two,
the president has asked the church to help.
Number two, it's not about, prayer without actions will not lead anywhere.
So you are going to fight corruption?
Yeah, we are going to, I'm coming. Corruption, change the public procurement processes, and importantly, we are going to ensure that immediately we take over, we'll be able to mind you, this country is sitting on a very huge debt mountain, and PF has no idea on how they intend to repay.
Do you have
except we are standing at, to be, if you like, to be fair, at about $15 billion or so. What are we going to do? We are going to restructure the debt as well. Immediately we take over. The signs that you give instantly create market confidence to an extent where the kwacha will stabilize. Once you stabilize the kwacha, by your actions, you are bringing back the investors that have gone away. Not only do you bring back the investors, but you're also going to empower the private sector in Zambia to help us create jobs. We are going to ensure that the contractors, for example, those that have done their works, are paid their money. We are also going to dismantle domestic debt. If that money is plowed in the economy, it means the kwacha will stabilize and more jobs will be created. Importantly, it is also to redirect the resources to the sectors which matter most. I'm talking about sectors such as the agriculture sector. We can use the agriculture sector by giving it adequate funding in line with what we agreed and signed up to. The 2003 Maputo Declaration, as reiterated by the Malabo Protocol in 2013 in Guinea, Equatorial Guinea, where we said that at least give not less than 10% of the budget to the agriculture sector. And the agriculture sector, we have understood it so well under the chairmanship of Honorable Levi Joseph Ngoma, the former MP for Sinda, who has anchored that particular portfolio so well. And we understand the issue of agriculture so well, and we know that the agriculture sector, given its rightful place in the economy, can help us to take the majority of our people out of poverty. And it is also going to be used as something that can help to give people disposable income at household level. We are going to ensure that we create add value to the agro value chains, agro processing, to an extent of exporting processed products in order to earn sufficient foreign exchange. When we're talking about the agriculture sector, it is a topic on its own. You are now talking about ensuring that we look at NCZ. NCZ in its current form requires to be capacitated. The fertilizer that they can produce can honestly reduce the price of fertilizer. Today, we have PF aligned individuals, companies that are importing fertilizer from the Middle East, and the landed cost is so affordable. But because they have, you have all these, they have added on so many middlemen, it has increased the cost of the price of fertilizer. As I speak to you, the price of fertilizer is about 800 kwacha. How do you expect a smallholder farmer to survive? And obviously we are going to restructure the farmer input support program. And for us, the agriculture sector, it can be the mainstay of the economy. Not only that, we are looking at also supporting other important sectors of the economy, such as mining. Mining for a long time to come will continue to be the mainstay of our economy. We're not going to neglect it.
Honorable.
And I'm talking about tourism, manufacturing, but as we do that, we are looking at economic growth with equity.
Thank
so
you so
that
much.
we look at not just the side of the sectors to grow the economy, but also looking at the social sector. Programs such as education, give it adequate funding, the health sector employing more nurses in the education sector, teachers, understanding the education sector, the social, program for social protection, and water and sanitation. We are going to do so much so
Thank
that
you so much,
ultimately.
Honorable. Time
Yes.
is not with us. Thank you so much for making an appearance on this special interview.
Are we done already?
We are done. That's
Oh,
past
thank
1
you.
hour plus.
I hope to be back.
Yes,
again.
you'll be back.
Let's come and discuss a specific sector of the economy where we are going to focus.
How you are going to- where you are-
ultimately, we are talking about anchoring all our programs on good governance
Thank you.
and the economic growth of equity, bringing more and more people out of poverty, creating jobs, especially for the young people, the smallholder farmers, the entrepreneurs, those people that are working in markets, the marketeers,
Thank you
the
so
bus
much,
drivers,
Honorable. We have
everyone
to
will
go.
have a stake.
We have to go. This has been
Thank
the
you so much.
special
I must
interview
thank
on
for
the
the-
channel of Choice Movie Television, and I've been talking to Honorable Patrick Mucheleka, who is Deputy Secretary General of the United Party for National Development, discussing the UPND 2021 prospect. Join Andrew Mansa tomorrow with the assignment. My name is Kelvin Tabola, Chief for Good night.
Thank you so much. Most grateful for the
Thank you so
opportunity.
much.
Good.